Today's story is Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel lived in a teeny tiny house on the edge of a great forest with their father and stepmother. Their father was a woodcutter, but he was so poor that he didn't even have enough money to buy food. "How will we feed the children?" he moaned. He was a good man, and he didn't know that their stepmother had a plan, a nasty plan. "Husband, we must take the children into the forest and leave them there. Then we can be rid of them," she said. "We can't," spluttered the woodcutter, horrified, but his wife was determined to have her way. "She's such a meanie. Don't worry, I know what to do." Late that night, as everyone slept, Hansel crept outside. He filled his pockets with pebbles that sparkled like silver coins in the moonlight. The next morning the family set off. Clever Hansel dropped the shiny pebbles along the path as they went. When they reached the middle of the forest, their stepmother announced, "Your father and I are off to chop wood. You stay here. We'll be back later." But they didn't come back. "I'm scared, Hansel," cried Gretel, but Hansel knew what to do. When the moon came up, he took his little sister by the hand, and they followed the glistening trail of pebbles all the way home. Their father was delighted to see them, but their stepmother said angrily, "You lazybones, why did you sleep so long in the woods?" That night she nagged her husband, "We must take them even deeper into the forest." And this time, when Hansel got up to collect the pebbles, his stepmother had locked the door shut. The following day, as they set out, Hansel knew what to expect. He made a trail of crumbs from the tiny piece of bread he had been given for breakfast. "Sit tight, you two," ordered their stepmother, once they reached the deepest, darkest part of the forest. "We're off to chop more wood. We'll be back later." But by nightfall no one had come for them. "Don't worry," said Hansel, "we'll follow the trail home." "Oh, we forgot about the birds." The children could not find a single crumb. They walked for a night and a day until they were hopelessly lost. "I can't go on, I'm so tired and so hungry," sighed Gretel. Just then Hansel spotted a little house ahead. It was made entirely from gingerbread sweets and cakes. The children could not believe their eyes. They ran forwards and grabbed delicious handfuls of sweet treats. As they munched happily, an old woman poked her head round the door. "Come inside and stay with me, my dears," she smiled. No sooner had the children entered the house when they realised that they had been tricked. The old woman was really a witch. She locked up Hansel and forced Gretel to clean and cook. "Come on, you lazy lump." "You must cook for your brother," she cackled. "He looks so tasty, I think one day I shall eat him." Gretel was terrified. Every day the witch checked to see if Hansel was ready to eat, and every day clever Hansel fooled the witch. He knew she couldn't see well, and he held out a bone instead of his finger. The witch was very puzzled that Hansel stayed so thin. "I can't wait any longer," she snapped. "I'm eating him now. Gretel, light the oven." "It won't light," said Gretel. "What?" "Stupid goose," snarled the witch. She stuck her head inside the oven to light the flame. Gretel saw her chance. With all her might she pushed the witch's bottom. "Take that, you nasty witch!" The witch tumbled into the oven, and that was the end of her. "You saved us," cried Hansel as Gretel quickly freed them from the cage. Now that the children were free to explore the witch's house, they discovered hidden gold and sparkling jewels. Laughing happily, they filled up their pockets and set off for home. When they arrived, their father hugged them tight. He'd never forgiven himself for leaving the children. Thankfully, their wicked stepmother had left long ago. From that day on, the woodcutter and his beloved children were richer than they ever could have dreamt, and never went hungry again. The end. Story time has finished.